Hey guys, so today's video is a little bit of a throwback for my channel. I haven't done a makeup tutorial in years, but I've been really inspired and into makeup lately, and I thought that since prom is right around the corner for a lot of people, that this would be an optimal time. This can be used for any kind of like night out or special occasion. I went for more of like the halo eye, where you have like the bright center of the lid and then more of the contoured edges. So I hope you guys will enjoy this. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. It's that red button below. And if you're really feeling generous, then hit that notifications button so you can see whenever I post a new video. And without further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing I'm doing is prepping my face with some moisturizer, and the one that I really like to use before makeup application is this one here from Embryolisse. And then after that, I'm going in with my foundation and applying it with a beauty blender. The foundation I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, and this is my favorite drugstore foundation. I've probably been using this for like 5 or 6 months now, and I'm so pale right now that my concealer is not that bright anymore, but I'm using the NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard to brighten up my under eyes, the center of my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and my chin, and I'm just going back in and blending it all out with a beauty blender. This also adds a little extra coverage in areas where I need it. After that, I'm taking the Tarte Pro Glow Contour and Highlight Palette and picking up the cream contour shade, and I'm just going along my forehead, my jaw, my nose, and giving myself a little bit of a base for some powder contour after, and of course just blending it out again with my beauty blender. And then one of the most important steps is making sure that everything stays in place. So I'm going in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder and just dusting that over my face. And this stuff is definitely worth the hype. I love how it gives you a really nice soft and diffused look to your makeup. So then I'm going back into the Pro Glow palette and picking up the dark powder shade and going over all the areas where I contoured with the cream product, and just buffing that into my skin using a small dome brush. And then I'm using a smaller, more tapered brush to contour my nose, just to give me a little bit more precision. And I really don't go all out with the contouring. I just like a little bit more definition so my face doesn't look as flat. Then after that, I'm picking up NARS Blush, which is my favorite blush ever. I love this stuff. It's universally flattering, and it's like this perfect mauvey pink tone. And I'm just applying it to the apples of my cheeks, and then I'm going back into the highlight and contour palette and applying lit to the tops of my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, and down the center of my nose. And then I'm brushing my brows in place with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. This holds my brows in place while I'm filling them in, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm applying some Urban Decay Primer Potion to my lids and just blending that up to my eyebrows, and then moving on to filling in my eyebrows. So my favorite product to use for my eyebrows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. This gives me the most control, and it's probably the easiest product to use because it's so precise and so small. And I normally use the shade medium brown for my eyebrows, but I only had dark brown, and if I carry that all the way onto the inner corner of my eyebrows, then it looks awful. So I switch it out on the inner portion of my eyebrow and use the Anastasia Brow Definer Pencil in the shade Soft Brown. And I actually really don't like this product. I find it difficult to work with and hard to get like clean, small lines. I'm sure other people would totally disagree with me, but I'm not the most skilled when it comes to my eyebrows. So after that, I just go ahead and brush them out and make sure all the lines are blended, and then go clean up the underneath of my eyebrow with some concealer and a small angle brush. Alright, so finally time to move on to the eyes. So I'm taking a large fluffy brush and the shade Tempera from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance palette, and I'm just putting that all over my lid. The reason I like applying a neutral base color to my whole lid is because it makes blending colors out way easier. After that, I'm picking up the shade Burnt Orange on a MAC 217 brush, and I'm applying it to the outer corner of the eye and softly blending it in. And I'm trying to leave the center space pretty clean because that is the spotlight or halo area of my eye. After that, I'm going to apply the same color on the very inner corner of my eye, and I actually switch it out to a smaller brush, which makes it a little bit easier to control where I put the product. So when doing a halo or spotlight eye, you want to leave that center portion of your lid open, and this will create a lot of like dimension. It almost highlights the center of your eye even without adding a highlight color there. So it adds a really nice visual effect. So the next thing I'm doing is going into the shade Real Gar, I think Real Gar. and I'm applying it to the outer and inner corner over top of the initial color I laid down, and just deepening up that color, making it look a little bit brighter and a little bit more intense. Then to further intensify that color and kind of start creating this gradient effect, I'm going into the shade Red Ochre and applying that and then blending it out a little bit and keeping more of the intensity closer to my lash line, and of course going on the inner corner of my eyes as well. So I'm going back into the same shade and taking a pencil brush and then connecting the two sides of my eyes at the very top without carrying it down too much onto the main portion of my lid. So I'm using a small precise brush for this because I don't want the color to travel down onto my lid. And then afterwards I'm just softening up that line with a fluffy brush so that it doesn't look too harsh. So I'm going back into burnt orange with a fluffy brush and then just lightly going over top of that line that I created and blending it out a little bit further, basically just softening everything up. With these types of looks, it's basically just a lot of layering and blending and layering and blending. Moving on to the lower lash line, I'm picking up some more of the burnt orange shade and applying it to my lower lid using a pencil brush. And like the top lid, I'm reserving the middle portion for a highlight shade later. After that, I'm picking up Red Ochre on the same brush and applying it a little bit more close to my lash line, and then softly blending everything out with a clean fluffy brush, and more just blending the two colors together, not carrying the color down too much, and connecting it to the top lid. So for a highlight shade, I'm picking up Primavera from the palette and applying that to the very center of my lid, and I'm also applying it to the same region underneath my lower lash line just to bring focus to the center of my eye. After that, I'm taking my absolute favorite liquid liner. This thing is so precise and makes applying liquid liners so easy for someone who has absolutely no skill. So I'm making my line super thin on the inner corner of my eye and a little bit thicker on the outer corner of my eye. Then after that, I'm going into a matte black shadow and taking a more dense brush and just blending out that line so it's not harsh at all, but has the darkness closest to my lash line. So for mascara, I'm using Lancome Hypnose Custom Volume Mascara in the shade Deep Black. Here I was still getting used to having my eyelash lift, so it was a little bit more difficult for me to apply my mascara, so it doesn't look that great. I felt like the eyeshadow looked a little bit too orange for my liking, so I went into Venetian Red with a small, dense, fluffy brush and just darkened up the outer corner of my eye with that. And then I just softly blended out the edges with a fluffier brush. I also added a little bit more of that Primavera shade to the center of my eyelid to make it look a little bit brighter, and then finished everything off with a little bit of highlighter from the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. So I applied it to my brow bones and the inner corner of my eye. For my lips, I'm lining them with the Stila Marsala lip liner, and this is a really nice nude Your Lips But Better shade. And then I'm filling them in with a small synthetic brush and the Too Faced liquid lipstick in the shade Melted Sugar, and blending that into the lip liner. So that completes the look. I tried to keep this pretty wearable for everyone, so I hope you all enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and again, if you'd like to see more tutorials in the future, then let me know in the comments below. I love your guys' feedback. Also, if any of you guys tried this look out, then send me a picture on Snapchat, Instagram, or Twitter. I'd love to see your guys' recreations. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.